What's up, guys? Right here. Before this video starts, I want to thank today's sponsor, Core. If you don't know what Core is, it's an online platform where you can create, publish, and play your games. It's very similar to Roblox, but it has a lot more tools available for making your own games, and it's powered by Unreal Engine, so your games will have AAA quality. One thing that I liked about Core was how beginner friendly and familiar it was when hopping in. It has the same coding language as Roblox, which is Lua, and on top of that, you don't even need to know how to code to make your games. Speaking of games, Core is having an event called the Invitational Game Jam that's welcoming all creators, new and experienced, with a prize pool of $140,000, including a Tesla Model 3. So if you're new to game development or have 5 years of experience, this jam is for you. The game jam runs from July 29th to August 30th and will have creators competing to create games of all genres from FPS to adventure games, and applications are open right now until July 18th, so apply today to participate. Core is free to use. The event is free to enter. Click the link at the top of the description to get started. Once again, thanks Core for sponsoring today's video. What's up, guys? We're here. So this is part 3 of VFX tutorial. And we're gonna go through raycasting and damage. We're gonna use like magnitude for this, for our damage. So pretty much raycast. A raycast is just like a ray. So like let's say like this is a starting point and you want the ray to shoot out in whatever direction you choose. So you can be like, it can shoot out this way, that way, that way, this way, that way, that way, you know, anyway that you want it. And pretty much we're going to use this for like the rocks. So what you want to do to start off is just get like 4 like large parts, and the size on these is 20 by 20 or 20 by 1 by 20. I'm gonna just duplicate it and make 4 of them. One of them is going to be smooth plastic green. I want to do a darker green. This can be slate, dark. Oh, we could do, yeah, black. Black is fine. And then we could do like glass, and then maybe like a red glass, and then cobblestone. I'm gonna change this actually. I'm gonna change this. I'll change it to wood maybe. Yeah, wood. Wood is fine. Alright. And I'm gonna just anchor these real quick. So load up the module that we did in the last part. And pretty much what we're gonna do is yeah, we're just gonna do, okay. So in this like function where you spawn the rocks, just drop a line like above the C frame that we make and do local ray params equals raycast params.new, and this is pretty much setting the parameters for our raycasting, so we can set it to ignore things, right? And before we like script anymore, go to workspace, click folder, and add 2 folders. Name one ignore, and then name the other entities. So entities will be like players or dummies or whatever. And take the 2 dummies that we have, or if you have dummies, take those 2 and drag them into entities. And then we're gonna make another one of these. Just gonna put it in the middle of them. And this is gonna be like grass. It's gonna be green grass, maybe. Some grass, right? And then we're gonna drag the grass part inside of ignore, right? So we want to ignore this. And I'm just doing this just to show how like the ignoring works. And yeah, and it will like get this base plate instead of this, because it's going to ignore this, right? So go back to the module. So ray params.new, then ray params.filter descendants equals table, or you can use like the squiggly brackets, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to do workspace.ignore, right? And this is going to ignore the ignore folder. And then you could just do ray params.filter type is equal to enum.raycast filter type dot blacklist. And that's what we need for the ray params. Now at the rocks, what you want to do is like under the C frame where we change the C frame, just drop a few lines, and then we're going to do local ray is equal to workspace colon raycast, right? So now this has 3 parameters. You have the origin, direction, and filter. So pretty much our origin will be rock.cframe.p, or you could just do rock.position or whatever. And then our direction will be rock.cframe.up vector. So up vector controls anything that goes up or down. And then we're going to times it by 5, because, well, -5, because we want it to go down. If we want it to go up, then it will be +5. And then filter just would be ray params. And now we need to check if the ray touches something. So if ray, then, so if the ray has touched something, we can pretty much just copy all of this and just move this inside of that, right? So this is what you need right now. You can like pause it. All right. So now that we got this, we're going to drop a line and do rock.material is equal to ray.instance. So ray.instance is the object that we touched, dot material, and this is the material of the object. And then we're going to do rock.color is equal to ray.instance dot color, right? And this will get the color and the material of the ground below the rock. And yeah, it's pretty much what we need. So we can test this. Nah, I'm just gonna click play. So while we load this, then we're gonna come over here. We're just gonna like stand in the middle and press E. Some reason that did not work, and I'm not sure why. Is it not firing the rocks at all? Oh, I'm dumb. Dumb. Okay, so we spawned it under the ground, so we can just do +5. But it honestly depends on how you spawn the rocks in, like in the terrain or whatever. Well, actually, there's a workaround. There's a workaround. I'm gonna just show you the workaround actually. So if we press E, let's see how it copies the materials. So that works. Or what you can do instead of doing this is you can still do the -5, but make sure when you do the C frame, you do rock.cframe, pretty much the same C frame, but remove the size part and just put 0. And then the second rock.cframe, do rock.cframe times cframe dot new 0 negative size 0, right? And then you can drag this line, or you could just copy and paste it under like the ray. if Ray didn't. And this is like another workaround that works. And since we didn't like parent the rock yet, it's gonna run through all the C frames, so the rock should not appear above until they need to. So we're just gonna press E, down, and of course we get an error. Not an error, but of course it just didn't work. Why are you not working? I want to add one to the C frame, and then right here we're just gonna plus +1. Let me just see if this works. It's probably because I don't even know, honestly. I was gonna say it's probably because of the size or the distance from the ground, but we'll see. Let's just press E, and yeah, so I just had to spawn it up a little bit more. I know what I just did, so what do I want to do? I want to subtract that, so plus -1. Now this should go up at the rate that we want it. It's not gonna float. And yeah, pretty much this is how you do the raycast for the rocks. Let me just change the size modifier a little bit. And now we're gonna do damage. We could do this in like a separate function, so you could just minimize the other two functions. Spin module, dot damage, and then what you can do is root part, and then damage value, right? Damage value can be anything you put in. So go to the server script, and under humanoid root part, do humanoid dot walk speed. Let's go to 0. Humanoid dot jump power is to 0, and then delay. And the move lasts 5 seconds. So let's just do like 4 seconds. Function. On the last second, you'll be able to move. So this should hold the player in place, and then after the move is like got to 4 seconds out of the 5 seconds, you can move again. And then we're gonna do another spawn function. Let me scroll in just to make sure y'all can see this. So humanoid walk speed, and then a spawn function right here, and then we're gonna do spin module damage humanoid, and not humanoid repart, humanoid repart, and let's say like 1 damage, since the dummy's got 100 health. And then we're gonna go back to the module, and remember we made the entities. So this allows us to do magnitude like effectively, because if you just did magnitude through workspace, that can cause a lot of like lag and problems for your game. But if you have all the players in one folder, you free up a lot of that time that it takes to sift through all of the objects that's in workspace, because it only needs to go through that folder. So we could just do local entities is equal to workspace dot entities. So that's the group of players in AI and boss or whatever you have. And then you want to do 4. Yeah. No, we're not gonna do 4. So remember how we did connection for this, like for the rotate. We're pretty much gonna, well, we're just gonna do the same thing. So local connection is equal to run service. I don't think run service. Yeah, run service is not it. We could do a while loop, while true do, and then we can have a bool, local bool is equal to true, and then if bool is equal to false, then break. So this is gonna break the loop. Now we're gonna do a wait at the bottom of the loop. Make sure the wait is inside the loop, because if not, then your loop is just gonna crash your studio. And the tick time, we're gonna do 0.1 second. If you want it slower, just make the number bigger, but I'm gonna just do 0.1 second. That just seems more reasonable. And then under local bool, we're gonna do delay 4 seconds function, and then bool is equal to false, right? Now I'm gonna do 4 underscore player in pairs. So we're just gonna get all of players that's in entities. So entities get children do. And before this, remember the variables right here, or the parameters. Put character up here. So character humanoid damage value. Go back to the server script and do character humanoid report and then the damage value. Let me just show you the rocks real quick. And you could pause like at any time. So yeah, that's the rock part. And then this is the damage. It should be self-explanatory. And then we want to do a check. So if player is not equal to character, so if the player that it finds in the entities is not equal to our player, because like if you have this in your game, you'll have like the script that spawns like parents the players to entities, and then it can just ignore, you know, all of that. And then we can do local humanoid, or let's just do enemy humanoid is equal to not entity, player find first child parentheses humanoid. So that's what it should look like. And then if enemy humanoid, then, and we can do a check. So if enemy humanoid and enemy humanoid dot health is greater than 0, so as long as the player is not dead, as long as like the enemy is not dead, then you know it could continue running. Enemy humanoid take damage, and then damage value. And I'm gonna change my damage value to like 5. So if you need the script, that's what it is. Alright, so we go in and play. Let's just go to the dummies and press E and see how they take damage over time. They take a ton of damage, but yeah, pretty much that's what we want. And I would just do like 0.25 just to like slow down the rate of damage that they're taking. You see how they stopped taking damage when the move went away? So yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. So if you enjoyed this, well, first let me show you this real quick. So remember when we put this like in ignore, do that. It got the material of the stuff under the ignored block. So you know, this is really cool. And that's how you do that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, share, sub. Let me know what you want to see next though. I don't know what I want to do because this is like part 3. I don't know if we want to do any more of this. Maybe we can do like a tornado or something. We'll see. I seen somebody do say combat, so I'll like go back through combat. I'll like redo combat because the combat that I made like is kind of trash. So yeah, thanks for watching.